Hello everyone and welcome to the next video on my channel, and in today's video we will do the custom voting system. As you see, like voting for map basically. So as you see, I did the text vote for map and the custom time that you can set it up in, the Verse or just this device, and a signal remote that you can open and select on your map. And here you can, put the images. Don't worry about that. I just, can't find any good images, and I voted for map 3 and I let the map free, and I have this nice sound of winning. Like, you can change that sound, don't worry, everything is changeable. You can add as many props as you want, and also I will show you the multiple variations of the teleport system, like map teleport system. For example, maybe you want to teleport players to two different props, like for example team 1 and team 2. Okay, for example, you have some map where you want to teleport this part of people here, this part of people here, and I will show you how to do it, like in the different variations. So yeah, that was what we'll be doing in today's video, and yeah, open UEFN and let's do it with me, okay? But before we get into the tutorial, I want to quickly tell you about something that can save you a lot of time and money. It's called Map Mastery Accelerator. If you ever spent hours trying to fix broken verse systems, jump between a bunch of tutorials and still couldn't get things working, or found yourself paying someone on Fiverr just to get a basic script done, Map Mastery Accelerator was made to solve that. It's a full course that teaches you how to build real Fortnite maps using UEFN and Verse, plus a library of ready-to-use scripts you can drop straight into your projects. And if you ever get stuck, you will get access to private Discord channels where you can ask questions and get help without digging through YouTube tutorials for hours. And if you want to check it out first, there's a free preview with the first chapter and some working scripts you can plug into your own map. Just click the link in the description and I'll see you inside. Okay, so I'm UEFN and let's start from creating our Verse device, so Verse file basically, so close to Verse Explorer, and let's create a new Verse file. Okay, and let's name it map voting system. Okay, and let's hit on create. And let's open our VS Code. Okay, bring it up on the screen. Let's edit this useless comments. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, and let's start from adding the map voting agent data. Okay, I saw most of you guys like having issues with agent when I type only agent data, like it's valid colliding with your other code, so that's why I name it map voting agent data. Okay, and we need two things, so current vote, which is a string, okay, and the var voting UI, so basically a canvas of our voting. Okay, and we need to import the temporary UI, like from the unrealengine.com. Okay, and also I will add the string to message function, okay, which localizes, and we need to provide a string, type of string, and it will return a message. Okay, and the string, so you're basically converting a string to a message to show it, for example, in the UI, like on the button, or some names. Okay, next is map data. Okay, this is a class with a concrete specifier. Okay, and first thing we'll need here is an editable map name. Okay, so this is basically your map name. So for example, if your map name is, for example, castle, okay, you can type it castle in your Verse device. Okay, so it's basically map name, and don't use the same names. Okay, so if you have two maps that are named the same, okay, I know why, but maybe you have it, just in case I want to say that. So type, for example, castle 1 and castle 2. Okay, so don't name it castle and castle, because it will collide with the code, and name it differently. Okay, next is teleport props. Okay, which is an array of creative prop. Okay, is equals to array. Okay, so this is basically array of creative props, and var current votes. Okay, this is type of int. Var current votes text, which is the text for agent, and this is the text, text block. Okay, and this is a map, and we need to specify using Fortnite UI. Okay, and the next is our maybe main device, which is optional from our map voting system. Okay, and here we need function on vote button clicked. Okay, which is the WM, and it stands for widget message. Okay, it's type of void equals to return. Okay, so we don't provide anything in this function yet, but we will next. Okay, and on win, so basically what happens if this map win the voting. Okay, so it will basically have the most votes and teleport players to map. Okay, void equals return for now. Okay, so let's leave this function empty for now. We'll go back to this after we make the map voting system. Okay, so firstly let's add an edit table with maps data, which is array of our map data, like the class that we just created. Okay, next is edit table delay to start. Okay, and at default I will type 5 seconds. It's basically a delay between map voting system, that you join the game and 5 seconds needs to pass by, and after that the map voting UI will appear and players can vote for the map. Okay, next is time to vote. It's an integer of 20. 20 is an integer. Okay, so basically how much time players have to vote. And next is vote options integer 3. Okay, so this is basically how much options players have to vote. Okay, next is edit table info HUD. So this is basically an HUD message device to show the winning map, like announce it. So maybe winner map, winner HUD. I will not stay with info HUD. Okay, next is vote for map timer. Okay, and this is the timer device is equals to timer device. Next is remote manager, signal remote manager device to open bar the UI to vote. Next is remote item granter. So item granter device is equals to item granter device. So basically with this item granter device we need to grant the remote what this item is called, I know, remote something. I don't know, maybe here we will find it. Remote signal remote, yeah. So this item. Okay, and next is item remover, which is item remover device, and with this item remover device we will remove the remote signal remote device. Okay, so next things is winner vote data, which is map data equals to array. Okay, var winner map, which is the optional of map data. Okay, but false. So here we will sort the winner map, and here like our shuffle. So for example, if you have 10 maps, we will shuffle them in this array with our maps, and we'll get the 3 random maps. Okay, so it will not be the same every single time. Okay, so let's start from creating the functions. First will be on player joint. Okay, which is the agent, but I think we don't do add every variable, so let's just return for now, and let's go back to our variables because we don't make like every single one of them. Okay, so let's add var agent data map, which is the agent, and map voting agent data. Okay, is equals to map. Okay, and I think that will be it. Okay, and on player joint we can basically assign this on agent data map. So if not agent data map for our agent, we want to set agent data map for agent is equals to empty map voting agent data. Okay, Next function that we will need is on time end, okay, agent and the optional agent. So let's type it maybe agent, so you know, for clearness. Okay. Next is get random maps. Okay, and this will return an array of map data. So we need to create the random maps array of map data equals to array. Okay, and we need to return that, return random maps, because as you see it, you know, told us to return array of random maps. So here we return an empty array of random maps, like we will, you know, make that, but for now we will return the empty one. Okay, next is get winning map. Okay, and this will return us a single map data. Okay, and for winning map data, and this is type of map data equals to map data. Okay, and we'll return this winning map data. Okay, after that we need to update votes for all players. Okay, void equals return. So here in this function we'll basically update votes for all players. Okay, like in, for example, one player vote for something, it will update like the votes for every single player. Okay, next is remove UI. Okay, this will require an agent, type void equals, and also return for now. And the next is on exit clicked. This will require a WM, that stands for widget message. Okay, void equals return, and async init UI. Okay, agent with a delay, float is 1.0, suspense, void equals return. You may ask why I put question mark here, because it's, you know, the default value, so you don't need to provide this parameter. Okay, so when, for example, I call in this function, I only need to provide the agent, and as you see I don't get the error because I don't provide the delay. But if I want to provide the delay, I need to type delay and change the value to, for example, 100. Okay, and I can, but I don't need to, because here, as you see, it have the default value. Okay, but for now we can sleep for that delay, and as you see it's not an optional, so you can use that, you know, in code, like this question mark was never here. Okay, and the last function is init UI for our agent, and this type void equals return. Okay, and yeah, in this init UI we basically, after this delay, need to init our UI for our agent. Okay, so maybe let's start with onPlay joint also, because we need to init UI here. So spawn async init UI, and we provide the agent and without delay, so we will, you know, leave at the default delay. So, you know, we want to make sure everything set it up correctly, player, you know, successfully join the game, and everything works fine. Okay, so on time end we want to set winner map. Okay, is equals to our get winning map. Okay, so here we will get the winning map, and okay, because we have the option as an, so we need to provide that in the option. And in the get winning map, as you see, when you have the no rollback effects, like error here, like that, you can add basically transacts here, specifier transacts. Okay, and everything will work. Okay, so if you have no rollback, add transacts. Okay, and wait, where we stopped? Here on time end. Okay, next we want to spawn, and we need to get that winner map firstly. So winner map data is a winner map and the question mark. Okay, and spawn winner map data that on win. Oh, well, what's going on? Okay, so here we set it up the winning map to our get winning map function. Okay, so here we will get the winning map, and after that we will spawn the on win. Okay, So here, as you see, we have the function on win. So we can, grant some, things to a player, play some audio, continue the logic of your game. Like, it depends what you really want, okay? So you need to customize that for you, okay? And next is info hut that set text to our m string to message, and I will provide winner map and the break line to our winner map data that map name. Okay, so I want to announce that this map won, so I will show in our info hut the winner map and our winner map name. Okay, and after that I need to show that, so info hut that show. Okay, and after that I will just loop through the player, so player and get play space that get players. Okay, so we basically looping through every single player in the play space, so basically in your game session. And after that we want to remove the UI for our player that we get from this loop, and item remover that remove for player. Okay, so we need to remove the UI for the player, so he no longer can see this UI, like voting UI, and remove him the signal remote device, so he cannot open the UI voting UI to vote again. Okay, so the next thing is, let's go to get random maps. Okay, so we already have our variable and we need to get the shuffled maps. So var shuffled maps is an array of map data and is equals to shuffle our maps data. Okay, but here we need to add the using to verse or random. Okay, where it was, okay, here, and we need to loop through our shuffled maps. So for e from range from 0 to shuffled maps that length -1. Okay, and we need to get the shuffled vote is a shuffled maps at y. Oh, I am trying to. Okay, and if y is less or equals vote options -1. Okay, I think I spelled it wrong. Vote options here. Yeah, vote options. Okay, and set winner vote data. Oh, random maps, sorry. Random maps. Those equals array with shuffled vote. Okay, so basically it depends how much vote you want. Okay, in this case we need 3, so we adding only 3 things. Okay, next is get winning map. So here we need to loop through our vote winner vote data. So vote data is a loop through our winner vote data. Okay, and we need to check if our vote data that's current votes is greater or equals our current winning map data that current votes. Okay, so basically a simple algorithm to check what's the the greatest number, like sorting function. So current set winning map data is equals to vote data. Okay, so basically looping through every single winner vote data. Like here we will set it up, I think, in init UI. Okay, and here we checking if vote data that current votes, so current votes in our vote data, so here is greater than the previous one. We want to set it up as a winning map data. Okay, so basically pretty simple and useful. Okay, and after that, if our winning map data that map name is clear, so you don't say we get some default one, for example, from here. Okay, so basically it's an error. We want to basically get some random map. Okay, so if new winner maps, maybe WAP map, okay, it's a shuffle from our winner vote data. So basically looking for our winning maps data, winner, this one, okay. Need to shuffle that, and we want to get that and the 0 index. So basically a random map, okay, so random vote, like completely random. And we want to set our winning map to new winner map, okay, basically 8. And after that we want to return that, okay. In update votes for all player function, we need to look through all players, so for player, and we're looking through get play space dot get players, okay. So basically looking through every single player in the play space, like every single one, okay. And in each player we need to do a for loop through all the maps data, so for map data and maps data, okay. And if text vote is a map data that current votes text for our player, so this is basically our maps with votes, okay. You want to text vote that set text to m string to message, and our map data that current votes, okay. So here we're basically updating the votes for every single player, so we're looking for every single map and accessing these text votes, okay, here. So we'll assign that in the init UI, because this is the voting number, like you have the number to, you know, show how much votes are currently on this map, okay. And yeah, we just updating it, like setting the text here, okay. So next is remove UI. So if, well, let's do that if player is a player from agent, okay, and the player UI is basically get player UI from the player that we just accessed from our agent, okay, and the widget is agent data map for player that our voting UI here, okay. And then after that we want to remove our UI, so we using player UI that remove widget, okay. I need to remove that widget here, okay, and widget that set visibility to our widget visibility that hidden, okay. Basically that's why we, you know, using set visibility to hidden is because sometimes this remove widget part like padding, and it's removing after, for example, couple seconds or couple milliseconds. So yeah, it's really various, and this hidden is just hidden it automatically, like boom, like that, okay. And on exit click it, we want to just remove UI, okay, remove UI for our WM that player, sorry, this, okay. So the last function is our init UI. So let's start from main startbox, okay, and startbox is equals to startbox, okay, orientation is our orientation dot horizontal, okay. So let's copy and paste that, and this one will be the map vote startbox, okay, with the same orientation. Next is exit button, which is the button quiet equals to button quiet with the default text, and here we need to add message, so using our function mString to message and the exit, okay. And we can subscribe to that, so exit button that on click, so when player click this button, okay, you want to fire the on exit click. So when you know user click on this, like player click on this exit button, okay, so to exit the UI, we'll fire the on exit clicked function here, and that will remove the UI for this player that clicked this button, basically, okay. After that we want to add to startbox our widget, like the map for startbox, so main startbox, add widget and startbox slot, okay, Here we need to provide region that we want to add, so our map vote startboards. Okay, with the horizontal alignment to horizontal alignment dot center. Okay, copy and paste that and just change it to vertical. Okay, and here also to vertical, so vertical alignment dot center also. Okay, here we need to look through our maps data, so map data and the random maps. Okay, we don't have random maps, right? We need to get that, so get random maps. But not, okay, never mind. We cannot do that in UI because every single time we in the UI it will get the random maps. So let's add another variable which will be the random maps. Okay, so var random maps will be also the array of map data. Okay, and here instead of this we cannot do that. Okay, so basically, okay, we will change that to new random maps. Okay, and let's change any reference to that, and we'll get these random maps in the onBegin. Okay, so every time game started, we'll get the random maps. Okay, so let's use our random maps here in the for loop, and var, let's create a vote overlay. Okay, which is the overlay equals to overlay. Okay, next is vote background. Okay, and this is the color block equals to color block. Okay, with a default color to black, and we get the error, but don't mind about for now. And default opacity to 0.4. Okay, you can change that value. And I spelled something wrong, right? I just default. Yeah, typically. And we need to import verse or colors named colors. Okay, you can change the opacity or the color. This is basically a background, so if you want to you can mess around with this color, opacities, the text, everything you only want, or just create your own UI in the verse. So yeah, next is current votes text, which is the text block equals to text block, and this will have default text to, we can type today, I don't know. Okay, which is the, and I probably, yeah. Okay, this is the map data dot current votes. Okay, so this is basically current vote text. So how much votes the map currently have, how many players voted for that map. Okay, and with the default color to white. What am I type wrong here? I know. Everything looks alright. Oh, text color. Yeah, never mind. Okay, so default text color is a white. The default one, like if you don't specify that, it's black. Okay, so if you want different color for vote sets, you can change it here. Okay, next is vote startboards, which is a startboards equals to startboards. Okay, with the orientation to horizontal, but let's just copy that from var map startboards. Okay, and let's add the orientation to vertical. Okay, and if we need to do simple if statement, so if set map data dot current votes text for our agent is equals to current votes text. Okay, that's why we using this in if statement and just not without if statement like that. That's because we have the while working with maps, as you see, we want to access the key, we need to use these brackets, and if we want to use these brackets, we need to do that in if statement. Okay, so it's simple. And next is map image. Okay, so I cannot find any root image. Like if you have it, I can show you how to configure them. So yeah, we need to create a function which is the map image, and it's a type, for example, through map images, okay? And that get texture, okay? And texture equals to case, and we need to import something, verse of assets, okay? And case through map image, and map images, let's just add the enum like that, okay? So this is basically an enum, and here you type every single, you know, map that you have. So for example, castle, some, you know, I don't know, house or whatever. And here in the map data, you can add that editable to editable map image, okay? And this will be the map images dot castle, okay? And here you need to do a case through map image, and if the map images is, for example, dot castle, you want to return this texture. So for example, images dot castle, okay? And if map images is a house, you want to return images dot house. Like this is the folder where you store the images of your, you know, maps. So for example, you know, some shoot from up or whatever. And yeah, that's how you get it. And if you want to set it up, you need to use here in the init UI. Sorry, you need to specify map image, which is the texture block, equals to texture block, okay? And this is the default image map data dot map image dot get texture, okay? So you're basically using the map data, map image, and get texture, okay? And we got some error, I don't know why. We specified the map image. Yeah, I think everything is alright. That bit that we get the error. Oh, I typed something wrong. Default image. Yeah, I typed something wrong. Okay, and now we have the get texture, and you basically getting texture from this function. Okay, and that's how you get the texture, and you can, you know, change the desired size. So default desired size is a vector 2, and you can, you know, mess around with size. So for example, x to 250 and the y to 300. Okay, but we need to import the using of spatial math. Okay, so I will comment that for now because I don't have any images, but if you have it, is, you know, that's how you can do that. Okay, I will basically use the color block. So color block is equals to color block, okay? And the default desired size will be a vector 2 with x on 250 and the y at 250, the 300, okay? And default opacity to 0.1, okay? So you can mess around with this texture if you want texture, if you want color block, it's up to you, okay? And next is fold button, which is the button quiet. Okay, so do we use that? Button quiet, okay, is equals to button quiet, and the default text will be m string to message, okay? Map data dot map name, map name, okay? So here in this you know, vote button, I will show the name of the map, okay? And vote button on click I want to subscribe to our map data. I type subscribe wrong. Map data dot on vote button clicked, okay? So in this function that we don't create it yet. Okay, and after that I want to add everything to our start boxes. So vote start box that add widget and start box slot. Okay, with a widget map image firstly. Okay, and I will just copy this horizontal and vertical alignment and change that to fill. Okay, fill and fill. Let's copy that, and here we need to add the vote button. Okay, and with the center and top, and here I will add some padding. So padding margin is a left to 0.0, the top to 30, the right to 0.0, and the bottom to also 0.0. Okay, next we want to add it to vote overlay. Where is our vote overlay? Okay, our vote overlay dot add widget, but here to overlay slot. Okay, with a widget of our vote background firstly. Okay, and we can also copy that horizontal and vertical alignment to fill, I guess. Yeah, and let's copy that padding here, and let's change the padding everywhere to -20. Okay, so let's just copy that and paste it in every single value here. Okay, so let's copy that here. Okay, or that's something like that to see where the overlay is and where, you know, the startboard is. Okay, and after that I want to add our vote startboards. Okay, and after that I want to add the current vote sets. But here I want to change padding, I guess. Like I don't want it. And here I want it to be on 0. Okay, so set it up to 0, and the right to 10. Okay, 10, and here to right, and here to top. Okay, and the last thing I want to add is to map vote startbox that add widget our start box slot, and our widget will be vote overlay. Okay, and the horizontal alignment and the vertical alignment will be center and top. Okay, with the padding, so I can copy this padding and the padding to 30, 0, and 30, 0. Okay, and after that, while we have everything in our overlays and everything, we can add it to our UI. So if player is a player from our agent. Okay, and we also need to get the player UI, which is basically get player UI from our player. Okay, and we need to create a new canvas. Okay, canvas and slots, which is the array of our canvas slots, and canvas slot. So let's add first element to our array with a widget of main startbox. Okay, so we want to add our main startbox. Anchors will be anchors, and here we have minimum. Okay, which is the vector 2 with the x to 0.5 and the y to 0.5. Okay, let's delete the space here. And the maximum to also vector 2 with x 0.5 and the y to 0.5. Okay, next is our offsets, which is the margin as our padding. So we can just copy these values to not type it again, like left, top, right, bottom. Okay, and here we have everything on 0. Okay, so you can just change the value to zeros. And size to content is equal to true. The order will be 0. And the alignment will be vector 2 with x to 0.5 and y to 0.5. And I think I write it wrong, so let's add another canvas slot. Okay, and the second one will be the exit button. So here where we have our exit button here. Okay, So as you know, we want to player to click the exit button. And yeah, okay, with the offset of top to 350, okay, and the right to 300, and the bottom to 75, okay, with the same alignment. And the size to content we want to actually to be false, okay, and after that we want to add this to our player UI, so player UI that add widget, okay, and we want to add it to new canvas and player UI slot with the input mode to UI input mode to all. So no, we accept inputs from player, so clicking the buttons, so player will say freeze and then click the button, so he will see his mouse cursor basically, okay, or if he is on controller, he then switch around between buttons. Okay, and after that we want to set our agent data map for our agent dot voting UI. Okay, I'll add this brightness here. Voting UI equals to our new canvas that we just created. Okay, now player should have our UI. So let's go to our map data and let's configure it. Okay, so let's start from on vote button clicked function. Okay, so let's access our main device. Okay, so main device is basically our maybe main device and question mark at the end to unwrap the optional, and let's get the agent data map. So this is our main device that agent data map for our FWM dot player. So basically it's a player that clicked this button. Okay, as you see in the widget message, we can get the player and the source. Okay, so the next is if not agent data map dot current vote. Okay, so as you see in agent data map, we have his current vote, and this is string is equals to empty value, so he votes for something, and he votes for something. You want to loop through every single how is it called, maps data, yeah, main device and that winner vote data. Okay, as you see, this is our what is it here? Okay, so yeah, we want to loop through that, and if vote data dot map name is equals to agent data map dot current vote. Okay, you want to set vote data dot current votes minus equals 1. Okay, so we basically finding the map data that player previously voted for, and we removing the vote from that. Okay, and after that we want to get the text vote, which is the vote data, data that current votes text for WM dot player. Okay, and we want to text vote that set text to M string to message to our current votes. Okay, so we want to update that. Okay, and then we need to, like after this if statement, so we need to exit this if statement and set agent data map that current vote is equals to our map name. Okay, current vote, and we need to set it up to our map name, so yeah, it will be basically our map name, and set current votes for this map data. As you see, we incrementing this current votes variable, okay, by 1, so we're basically adding 1 vote. Okay, and after that we want to main device that update vote for all players, so it will update votes for all players. Okay, and in on-win you can mess around with this logic. You can add some things like granting the items to a player or whatever you only want, like whatever you only want. I will show you in this example only the teleport players to maps. Okay, so to teleport players in map to map, we want to do if statement main device and maybe main device. Okay, and all players is main device that get play space that get players Okay, so we're basically getting the old players from the map, and we cannot do that without this main device because we are not in the class that inherits from creative device. But yeah, we need to be in the creative device class, or just, you know, use that class like that. Okay, and new teleporters is basically shuffle the teleport props. Okay, so basically shuffle this teleport props, so players will get teleported randomly to props. Okay, so it won't be the same every single time, but they will get randomly teleported. Okay, and for player, and we need to get the player. Oh, I typed here for player. Okay, I need to get the player from our, and I type it wrong, players. Okay, we need to look that. Okay, never mind. So for player, we look through our all players. Okay, and if Fortnite character is player that Fort character. Okay, and we need to add using Fortnite.com characters. Okay, and we need to get the teleport prop. Is basically new teleporters at the index. So we need to get the index. Okay, so let's do a for loop with index. So index from 0 0 all players, that's length -1, and the player players. Okay, and the player will be all players at the index. Okay, so basically accessing the player at the index that we looking through here. Okay, and teleport props, and we will need index here. Okay, then, and okay, because we use that name, so teleport prop, the same teleport prop. Okay. And after that we need to get the prop transform, just teleport prop that get transform. Okay, and if FC teleport 2, and we want to teleport him to this prop transform, to this prop transform dot translation and prop transform dot rotation. Okay, and that's it, I guess. No, also the on begin. Okay, I forgot again to set it up the on begin. Okay, so let's start with our delay. So delay to start. Okay, so we need to wait that, and for player, and get play space that get players. Okay, so we're basically looking for all players in the play space, and we need to spawn on player joint. Okay, for our player, and after that get play space player added event subscribe to our on player joint. Okay, and we call that twice because this first is for players that are currently in game, so you know, the players that was in game in pre-game and all this stuff, like they don't join in progress, and player added events happen to only players that join in progress. Okay, now we need to look through our maps data. So map data, and we're looking for maps data, and set map data that maybe main device is equals to option self. Okay, so we're basically setting up this maybe main device to self. So self is basically this class. Okay, so this device that we place on our you know, in UEFN, and set random maps. Okay, so a variable here is equals to get random maps. Okay, so we're getting random maps from our function. Okay, and next remote manager, that primary signal event subscribe to init UI. So basically, if player click the primary signal event, so left mouse button click while holding the signal remote device, will initialize UI for him. Okay, next is vote for map timer success event that subscribe on time end. So basically subscribing to this function on time end when the timer device will succeed, so basically completed. Okay, and after that remote item granter that grant item to all, so basically granting this remote device to every single player. Okay, next vote for map timer that reset, so basically resetting the time. Okay, after that we set active duration to time to vote multiplied by 1.0, So basically, let's make it in a float, so it will be easier and you will, don't feel any change while setting this up. Okay, and vote for map timer. That's start. Okay, so in this device you can set up this timer to, for example, I don't know, 10 minutes, and here it will all update every single time to the time that you set it up here. Okay, so that's it. Let's build our verse code. Let's go to UEFN and let's place our verse device, so map voting system. Okay, and let's create, for example, 5 maps. Okay, and the first will be map 1. Okay, map 2, map 3, map 4, and map 5. And also we need to create a teleport prop, so let's create an blueprint class, building prop, and BP teleport prop. Okay, so let's open that and let's place some sphere. Okay, let's change the scale to 0.1, for example, to just showcase this. Okay, and after you place the teleporters where you want, you can just go here and delete the sphere, so you will have no collisions. Okay, and this is teleport prop to map 1. Okay, and just copy that or duplicate it, and let's place them like that. Okay, and let's connect that into our devices. So okay, teleport 1, teleport to map 2, teleport to map 3, teleport to map 4, and 5. Okay, everything's alright. And next we have our devices, so info HUD. So let's start maybe from this timer. Okay, so let's place a timer. Also let's place a HUD message device. Okay, item granter and item remover in the signal remote manager. Okay, and I will go with the legendary one, legendary signal remote, with no cooldown. We don't want any cooldown, but if you want you can add cooldown before, like, between clicks. I don't want it, so I will just set it up to 0. Okay, and item remover, I want to affected object to be object in devices, amount to remove to percentage and 100%, so every single item. And I want to remove signal remote device and this legendary one. Okay, and I want to on grant action to people, grant item, and I want to grant the signal remote D, so this legendary one, and receiving players to all. Okay, HUD message device, so display time to 3 seconds, placement custom, and maybe the top center. Okay, with some winner sound, so winner. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, and layer 0. Okay, and fade and zoom. Okay, sounds good. And next is our timer, so countdown, no. Can interact, no, we don't want players to interact with that. Applies to everyone. Okay, and timer running text, I want to set it up to vote for map. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so let's connect everything. Add message device, vote for map, signal remote, item granter, and item remover. Okay, so let's launch the session and test it out. Okay, but before we jump to the testing, I found a couple issues. So let's remove this async init UI, because we don't need that on begin. Like, we have this delay to start, so I don't know why even I put this. So let's delete that. And also in on begin, let's change the sleep, and let's move it here, and let's move this remove item granter to grant after this delay. So every single subscription, every single thing will happen. Okay, so we don't need to wait, and we subscribe to that. So that was my issue on my end, sorry for that. And also let's change the get random maps function. Okay, because here we also have the like problem from my end, sorry. We need to set the winner vote data, okay, equals to a empty array here, and instead of new random maps, let's change the name to winner vote data. Okay, and now let's build the verse code and let's push the changes and let's test it out. Okay. Okay, we need to wait at 5 seconds, I guess. We set it up to delay. So after 5 seconds, we get the vote from map text, we get the signal remote to open our UI, and we can vote for our maps. For example, map 4, map 5, and map 2. Okay, when I reopen it, as you see the vote saving. I can't vote multiple times, only once. Okay, so everything was fine. I will play map 4 and winner map 4. Okay, and I get this sound, I get teleported to for speed, so to map 4, and everything works fine. As you see, I get deleted this signal remote device. Okay, and now I will show you the other example that you can do with this to teleport props. So give me a second, I will modify the code and yeah, go back to this. Okay, so I modified the code a bit, and as you see, I added team teleport data. Okay, and this is the class with concrete, and it have three things, three variables basically. First is team number, which is an editable, so we can choose like which team we want to teleport. So for example, first team, second team, third team, and it's not working on indexes, so not type 0 but type 1. Okay, so it's like normal teams like you have in your scoreboard, team 1, type here 1. Okay, and here you have teleport props, so your teleport props, so where you want to teleport players in this team. Okay, and here's variable agents in team, and this is basically all agents in this team to teleport basically. Okay, and here in on win I added the looping for like filtering this agent and filling it up in the right order. So okay, so basically firstly I accessing the main device to access the play space, and after that I getting the team collection. Okay, so I basically getting the teams. Next I getting the all teams from team collection, so team collection that get teams, and this function returns us an array of team with all the teams in the game. Okay, next I get the all players in the game, so basically get play space get players, and I loop through every single team teleport data that you set up in this editable here in Verse, Verse device. So team teleports data, and team teleport data is equals to array. Okay, and here I loop through every single player like double loop, and I set it up check if this player that I looping to is in team, and if this is true, I set it up this set teleport data agent in team plus equals array with this player. Okay, if he is in this team, and here I added -1 because I told you to not work on indexes, so start from team 1 is basically 1 not 0, so that's why I added -1 here. And in teleports to map I accessing the main device like before, and instead of looping through players I loop through team teleport data, so basically this data that you set up in the first device. And here I'm getting the shuffle the team teleport data teleport props, so teleport props to each team teleport. Okay, and I also looping here through every single agent in this team that you want, and getting his Fortnite character, teleport prop to his from this shuffled array, and basically teleporting him like before. Okay, so that's all the changes. And how to set it up, just go to Verse device, go to your map that you want to set this up, and select team teleports data. Okay, and here you can add how much teams you only want, like it can be like infinite. Okay, so I don't want that, so I will just delete them. I want only one for now. Okay, and in each index, like in each element of this array, you need to specify team number. So for example 1 2 3 4 5 6 78, like what teams you use, and teleport props to this team. So for example, if you have 4 players in your team, it's good to have 4 teleport props for each player. Okay, so yeah, and you can do that to every single map as you see. Okay, so yeah, that was it in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learn how to create a map voting system. And yeah, if you want any codes from this video, you can go on Discord. Like I will drop 2 of them, like these 2 versions, to single player and 2 teams. And also, if you enjoyed this video and learned something and find it helpful, you can like and subscribe, and I will really appreciate that. Okay, so that was it, and see you guys in the next one.